We're excited to share the fourth version of our Digital Nomad Packing List with you. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Tom, and this is the newest iteration of my packing list I've been using to travel the world since 2015. Over the last few years, I've brought this gear to places like South Korea, Thailand, Portugal, Mexico, and all over the United States. This is a curated list with tools you need to work remotely as you travel indefinitely. We'll cover everything from new additions to lasting favorites in this video, and you can check out the complete product list with over 90 items and detailed reviews over on our site. We recommend opening the link in a new tab to follow along. I'm covering the men's focus items of this list, and in a separate video, Lauren's covering the women's items. We'll leave a link to that down below. Let's get packing. Your bags are the most important travel gear you'll bring along. They should be able to handle any condition and look great doing it. In this first section, we'll cover what you carry and primary organization tools for your travels. While these are my tried and true items, I'm also working on a couple of brand collabs on the side, and those might replace these. Join the email list for a sneak peek later this year. We've designed this list to fit into about a 35-liter bag, so just keep that number in your mind. That or higher is most likely going to work for everything on this list. And we do have a couple of recommendations, the first one being the Air Travel Pack 3. This one has been a standby and a tried and true bag in the previous iterations of this list. It's really durable. It gives you some really nice organizational options that pack flat if you don't need them. Really nice for tech. And it comes with a sternum strap and a hip belt as well, so it's super comfy to carry. I've been using the Evergood Civic Travel Bag 35 quite a bit. It's just got a giant bucket that I can pack into, and then I like that they have liter independent pockets on it too. So I have basically guaranteed space in all the pockets that don't eat into each other. Plus, for me and my body type, the harness system just works really well. Another great pick is the Tortuga travel backpack. This one's at 40 liters, so a little bit larger. You're gonna have a little bit more room for souvenirs and just maybe extra items that you pick up along the way or you wanna bring, but it's a super comfortable travel backpack. Tortuga's been in the travel backpack game for so long, and one of the things I really love about their brand is they are totally focused on travel bags. However, we know that some digital nomads are more into two-bag travel. We've reviewed tons of luggage that's easy to pair with a bag like the Yeti Ranchero backpack. Bringing a larger day pack also lets you leave luggage behind when you take day or weekend trips from your home base to a nearby city. Whatever size bag you choose, the Yeti Ranchero backpack is easy to load with everything you need. The Y-Zip allows you to open the top, front, or all three zippers at once, so it's always easy to find what you need. We like that the 27-liter version has a separate laptop compartment so you can pull out your device on the plane or in the cafe without dislodging the rest of your gear. It also has exterior pockets to hold a Yeti Rambler water bottle and a quick access pocket for essentials like your phone, wallet, and keys. Since you never know where the day will take you, we like water-resistant materials that are easy to clean, like Yeti's Tough Skin Nylon. Plus, the well-padded harness system has a breathable cushioned back panel, flexible shoulder straps, a sternum strap, and load lifters to help support you during any adventure. For the sling, I'm really a big fan of Bellroy's Venture Ready sling. Not only is the material somehow structured, but still soft, it's also super weatherproof, and I just really like the feel of it. I love the organization in here too, and one of my favorite things is this top part that just casually opens up for you to dump gear into. So typically I'm throwing keys on this side where the key leash is. On the other side, there's just little things like AirPods, chapstick, little dongles, whatever, etc. Big fan of this sling, and it's been a favorite of mine for this list for quite a while now, definitely over a year. Next up, we have this packable backpack from Matador. I've tested so many packable bags over the years, and this one totally takes the cake because it feels like a structured everyday bag when it's out, but it still packs up pretty small to about the size of my two fists. So we like it so much that we may or may not be doing a little collab version with Matador on this that may or may not be launching towards the end of next year. Next up, the Allet Travel Wallet. The thing I love about this is it's about the same footprint as a passport, so it doesn't take up much extra space than your passport already would. Some of these get super bulky. I like that this one has a small footprint, but it gives you the option for, additional organization, like a little flap back here, throw money up here, and then just cards on the side as well. And then when I'm not carrying this, I have the Reform Card Wallet. I typically throw my USD just into the Allet, and then whatever local currency I'm using at the time just goes here in this front pocket. And I've just got my cards inside. I love the layout of this little butterfly wallet. I think it's really, really great. And again, I've also had this thing for years. You can see there's a little bit of fraying going on, but due to the material, it doesn't stretch out. and it basically carries everything I need it to carry. Tom Bin Ghost Whale pouches, super good for small bits of organization. I've got some Pack Hacker patches in here, and then a small first aid kit in here, hence the orange. These are really nice if you want like sub-organization inside of another pouch, or you just want a small standalone pouch to hold small things in. So believe it or not, what you see in front of you is basically what I traveled with for 2 years between 2015 and 2017. Pretty much all the clothing. So let's go over it. Starting out with socks and underwear. This is a boxer brief from Woolen Prints. These are just the most durable that I've been able to use over the years. A lot of boxers will fray right here, but these tend to last like quite a bit longer than others. So that's, just testing. They're super soft, super comfortable too. So that's good. And then we have some socks. These are from Darn Tough. They have a lifetime warranty. It's actually kind of funny. If they get, frayed or they get a hole in them, you can just send them in for store credit. So the lifetime warranty actually works, and it's like an infinite sock glitch. You can basically get unlimited socks, as long as you buy them first. And then 2 tops from Outlier. We have the Ultrafine Merino right here, and then the Dreamweight, which is a little bit lighter. I just like to have both these as options. The Ultrafine is good for like everyday casual wear, and the Dreamweight is good like if I want to stay a little bit cooler or maybe I'm working out. It's nice to have that as an option. These 3 shirts here are a bit nicer. This first one from Lululemon I really like. It's stretchy, it's comfortable, it's breathable. I feel comfortable wearing it like to the pool and to a nicer restaurant. Next up, we have the interlock sweatshirt from Woolen Prints. This thing not only looks good and is comfortable, but it's also a critical piece of layering. So there's not a lot of clothing here. You have to wear a lot of it all together when it gets to colder temperatures, and this does a great job with that, and it's still packable. A lot of other sweaters I tried, they aren't packable. This one is, so that's super helpful. And then we have this button up from Woolen Prints. This has been on the list since 2015. I used to have it in a nice salmon color, and now I've got it in this blue color and a couple of other colors, but it's wool, it's naturally anti-odor, it dries quickly, and you don't have to wash it that often, and it looks good. Now into these shorts and the pants. We mainly wanted to find things that looked nice and had technical properties to them, and they didn't all look too much like gym shorts or sweatpants, and I think we've achieved a pretty good balance with that. So starting off with these proofs, these are submergible. There's a drawstring in the middle, but they're also like, they have a button and a zipper, so they look like normal shorts, not like you're wearing like, floral board shorts everywhere, which nothing against those, but those are not it. And then we have the Outlier New Way shorts. This is very similar to the proofs, but just a little bit of a different look. There's a drawstring inside, and they look like, just normal shorts. These ones have a little more structure than the proofs. The proofs are a little bit more like comfy cozy, and these are a little bit more like khaki shorts. All right, and then we have the 10,000 gym shorts that I've been using. They just pack up so small, which I really, really dig. They got a couple pockets in them for things like when you're at the gym that you just want to keep on you. When I'm in an unfamiliar gym, I don't really like to just set my stuff all over the place, so it's nice to have these pockets as options, but they do pack up super small, and I think they look pretty cool too. Moving on to the pants, we have the Lululemon ABC pants. You can look up what ABC stands for. I'm not gonna say it here on YouTube, but I find these to look pretty nice. These Lulus pair super well with the Oxford from Woolen Prints. And then we have the Outlier Slim Dungarees, which are just a great everyday wear. These have also been on the list since 2015. I love wearing these, and I found that I just pretty much wear them like every single day. It's kind of hard to get me out of them into some of these other pants, but I have the others just in case for different colors and different matching. But I love these things. I don't know what the fabric is, but it like never picks up smells, and they're super durable, which is great for travel, and they're still packable. I mean, look how small that gets. Quick note on the Slim Dungarees. Outlier actually just came out with a new pair called the New Dungarees. So we're curious to give that a test too. The next up, this is a new addition this year. This is from Proof. Again, I like how packable these are. They offer a different look, and they feel like stretchy, kind of like sweatpants, so they're super comfortable for the plane, a little more stretchy than the dungarees, and they still, I think, look really good too. So everything on here, it looks good and it's comfortable. For a belt, this is the Arcade Atlas. The thing I like about most with it is that it's plastic, so I don't have to take it off when I go through the security checkpoint, and it's also stretchy and just super comfortable to wear. even if I'm overeating. The compact travel hoodie from Unbound is the smallest and most compact I've been able to find. I tested a couple of other hoodies for this iteration of the list, but they just didn't quite get as small as this one does, so this one takes the cake. So I don't know why, but a lot of outdoor companies are constantly removing their packable rain jackets from their catalog. This new one from Kettle is really good. This was kind of a last minute addition. I took this on my trip to Portugal about a month ago, and it rained nearly every single day in Lisbon. So it got some really good testing, and it's still nice and compact to pack. Not quite as small as the Rab we had on here last time, but it still gets the job done, and it's much more packable than a lot of other rain jackets out there. The Nano Puff, another classic. It's been on here since 2015. It is super packable and has a great warmth to weight ratio. And it's also a little pillow if you want to sleep on the plane. Neck gaiters are a game changer when it comes to travel. They keep your neck warm like a scarf. You can twist them into a beanie if you want, and they are super small. So it's a critical piece for staying warm. These R1 gloves are great. These are actually small, sized for Lauren, our managing editor, but they also fit me. And one of the things I like most about them is you can operate a phone really well, and they're relatively thick at the same time too. So a lot of these gloves have these like touch pads that kind of like go all over the place. These ones are really tight and they work super well, and these still keep you warm. Next up, we have glasses. I wear mine for distance. So these are the Gins Switch. They're just a regular pair of frames, but they've got this magnetic piece on them. They work really well. I like to have these on me. The one little con is that they can sometimes like kind of fall off. But other than that, they stay on great. And I mean, it's so much better than packing prescription sunglasses and glasses. So I really like that. And then I throw them in this aluminum case that I found on Amazon that was also like hard shell and durable enough to hold them so they don't get crushed. This one's super scratched up. I've had it for probably a year now, but it ends up just being the best, most smallest and packable case, and it fits super well in the Bellroy sling. I like wearing rings, and I'm not married, but if you're married and you don't want to bring your wedding ring on a trip, these silicone bands from Groove are really, really good. They let you have that ring feel without bringing your expensive wedding ring on a trip where it might, get lost or stolen. A headband like this is great for working out. Not only is it really thin and packable, but if I'm traveling and I haven't had a haircut in a while, my hair's getting longer, it really keeps it out of my face, but I don't need to use it all the time. You could get just any regular baseball cap and fasten it to the outside of your bag when you're not wearing it, but I like this one from Getaway. It just folds in half like this. Does everything a normal hat does. It pretty much looks like one too. The bill's like a little foamy and stretchy like that. But other than that, it's just a regular ball cap, and you can way easily pack this. Like sometimes I forget about it in bags that I'm testing, and it just stays in there because it's so small and barely noticeable. For shoes, I bring two pairs. I bring one pair of sandals and then one pair of worn shoes like this. I like these Zeros because they're super packable, but they still have soles in the bottom for some traction, and they're still minimal. I'm a big fan of minimalist footwear. You may or may not be. It's really good for travel because your shoes end up being really small and packable. So I've been using the Raw 4s for years. I like them because they have a small footprint and they're packable, but you could get away with basically any pair of shoes that you want to wear as long as they're worn. You're not going to be able to fit a lot of shoes into the 35-liter bag with all this other gear. So minimalist shoes work really well for that, and they're packable, but I know these aren't for everyone, so just bring whatever shoe works for you. Next up, we have the Peak Design packing cubes and shoe pouch. I always bring two packing cubes with me and shoe pouches for the sandals. Typically these shoes are worn. And then I basically separate out tops and bottoms between these two. The thing I really like about the packing cubes is they're almost self-regulating. I know two of these in the shoe pouch are gonna fit into most travel backpacks with a little bit extra space. And as long as I can fit them into these two cubes, I'm likely gonna be able to bring them in a 35-liter bag, no matter which bag it is. You need reliable tech, especially if you're going to be working remotely. That's why all the gear on this list is durable and compatible. In fact, we updated this entire list to be USB-C, so it all just runs on one cable type. No matter where you decide to co-work abroad, the tech gear will keep you efficient. First off, a couple of carrying cases. We have the Air Pro Kit, which fits everything on here super nicely. I've tried a bunch of other tech kits, but this thing just holds everything super well. And it's also a bit of a wedge, so it's really easy to pack, and you get just a little bit of extra space savings, which I really like. And then we have the Matador laptop base layer. This offers some pretty good protection while still being one of the smallest footprint laptop case that I've tested to date. And there's a little handle on it here and a little mesh, very stretchy zipper part up here. So sometimes I'll pop the laptop in here, put a mouse and a charger down here, and then I'm just headed to the coffee shop or a cafe without my bag. And then we have a keyboard sleeve. This one's neoprene. We used to have one that was slightly smaller, but this one from Grifty I think works really well. And then again, you have the option of another little pouch right here where you can pop in like a charger or your mouse if you don't want to take the Matador. So plenty of options to kind of mix and match your tech gear and bring the stuff wherever you want to go. So I've got the 16-inch MacBook Pro. A smaller laptop would be totally fine. I just like the bigger version myself. And I can only hunch over it for about like an hour or two before I start getting a sore back. And then you're always in a different chair when you're living the digital nomad lifestyle. So I like to have a laptop stand and then a keyboard and a mouse, but your mileage may vary. This one from Nextstand is really good. It's the carbon fiber version, so it's pretty much the same as what it's always been, but it's a little bit more durable. And then just a keyboard and mouse. Again, I'm a fan of the Magic Mouse. I know a lot of you aren't. I like that it keeps my arm just like flat against the table as I'm using it, and it's super packable. It fits in the front part of the Pro Kit super well alongside the Oura Ring charger, which I'll talk about in a second. And then, you know, the keyboard as well. This one's just been updated for the biometrics fingerprint. I really like to have that because you just, you know, unlock passwords or whatever with your finger versus needing to actually type them in. So it's just a little quality of life improvement. Of course, I'm a Mac person, but if you're Windows, your setup is gonna look a little bit different. Next up is a new edition. I feel like this changes every single year, but this big beefy boy from Anker powers everything on the list really well, even the large 16-inch MacBook. I like that you just have one cable with an extension so you can get this thing where it needs to be. And then that also enables us to just go with the, I believe, 3-foot USB-C cables, since this thing comes out from the wall to where you need it, and then you just have a little bit of extension of these. You don't need two massively long USB-C cables, so it keeps everything nice and compact and tidy. We've had various other setups in the past, but this one has just felt so clean. And then I like the extension cable because it's not a big, heavy brick. So we're also moving back to the Road Warrior outlet adapter, not converter. Don't get that mixed up. If you have dual voltage, that's gonna work well with this setup and just with the Road Warrior, but if it's not, you might fry it in a different country. So it's an adapter, not a converter. I've taken this to a couple countries, super happy with the setup. It's really, really great. All right, now on to some of the smaller accessories. I'm just gonna set that off to the side. The InCharge XS. We don't technically need this for anything on the list because everything here is USB-C, but if you find a travel buddy or some USB-A port or something like that, or someone needs like a lightning cable here, this is just a great way. It's like a Swiss Army knife of cables to where you can have pretty much anything that you need. And I just like to have it as like insurance or to help other people that are traveling if they need a data transfer or charge something or whatnot. The Nightcore Carbo 10,000 battery bank. I really, really like it. It is small, it is slick. It has enough charge for me. There are a ton of these out there. We've done a lot of testing. I love that Eric like tested all the milliamps and all the timing. He went like just wild on our blog post. So if you want to look at some other power banks, definitely go check that out. But this is my favorite personally, just because I think it's really slick and it has enough for me and it's super packable and flat. I think that's critical, especially when you have this big boy. All right, and then moving over, AirPods. I mean, your headphones might look different. This is a new addition for me, this case from Bellroy. I like that it looks different, and then if I'm traveling like with my girlfriend or something like that, this case is nice because we can easily tell our AirPods apart. Before, it's always kind of like, are these mine or yours? And then maybe there's like a little sticker on one and then it falls off. So the case is nice, just like very obvious, and it sticks right in here. I don't really use this lanyard much, but I think it's a nice touch too. All right, the Oura Ring charger and Oura Ring. I wear this thing all the time. It helps me optimize my sleep. I know there's varying degrees of science out there, but for me, it's like, if I look at a graph and I see my sleep, even if that graph is inaccurate a little bit, I'm gonna be like, oh, I should sleep more. Okay, just moving on to some smaller things. This is the USB-C to headphone jack. You know, you're not gonna need this with the AirPods, but if you lose the AirPods, you need to get on a quick call, go buy some cheapy headphones at just any market, and boom, you got them in your phone, and you don't have to find an Apple store to get more AirPods or Beats or whatever you got going on. USB-A to USB-C converter. This is nice if there's a random USB-A port that you want to plug into, say like on the plane or something like that, you know, down between the seats on Delta, for example. They have this, you can pop this in there if you want to, because not every thing like that has been upgraded to USB-C yet, so we still got a while to wait. Peak Design case, I've used iterations of this for years. I really like it. It works super well with the tripod here. I have a version I've been using for years, actually just broke, and I sent it into Peak Design and they replaced it right away. So this little ball head kind of had an issue just after years and years of use. And this one's brand new, I just got it replaced. But always like using this for a little tripod for taking photos, things like that. Just super nice to have. And there's a little carrying case too, which like, I don't really use this, but your mileage may vary. This is the AirFly. This is gonna work if you want to use your wireless headphones on the airplane headrest display. So it is pretty specialized just for that use case. You can also split audio between multiple sets of Bluetooth headphones. So if you want one audio source, you don't want to play that game of like pressing play at the same time on the same movie, that totally works well for that if you just want to use one display. We like the AirFly Pro Deluxe too, since it comes with this little adapter. Some older planes have this and not a singular headphone jack. So it's nice to have that option and still use this thing on those flights. This, you probably don't need it, but in the cases where I have used it at like a print shop to print some documents, it's really nice. This is a small thumb drive. This is one of the smallest that I've been able to find. I feel like these constantly just keep getting smaller. So we have USB-A on one side, USB-C on another, and then it comes in this little lanyard. It has saved my butt to print off some customs forms in Vietnam in the airport. Really nice to have, otherwise I never use it. Olight pen, this is the next iteration of what we had in the last list. What's really cool is it's a pen down here at the bottom, ballpoint, and then at the top, it's like a pencil. So it's very, very sharp. I thought this was gonna get flagged as like a weapon on security because it is super sharp, but it's been fine on the, I think at this point, like 7 or 8 plane rides I've taken between various layovers and things like that. It's never been flagged, and it's nice to have that pencil as an option as well as a pen on the other side. Field notes are great. If you have notes you wanna, sometimes it's nice just to write down ideas, right? So if you have notes you wanna put into this thing, totally works well for that. I personally dig it. Air tags, we have various, I just tag anything important. So like maybe if I'm just bringing this laptop case out, I'll just throw an air tag in there. But normally it's in my sling, my tech kit, and then sometimes I'll also have it on my keychain for keys, and then in my travel backpack as well, just to keep track of everything. Air card, that's gonna go in the travel wallet. The card version works a lot better inside of the Owlet travel wallet we were looking at earlier than, stuffing one of these weirdly shaped air tags in there. It's just, wallets for cards, so. And it works in both Android and Apple ecosystems, which is cool. Yes, even your toiletries can be optimized. Each item on this list is carry-on compliant, so you can fly through airport security. Whether you're meeting new friends or hosting a virtual meeting, these items will help you look and smell your best. Toiletries come in all different shapes and sizes, and I think they're the hardest to pack out of anything else on this list just because of the variance in the shapes and sizes. That's where the Air Dopp Kit 3 comes in. I've tested a ton of different Dopp kits over the years, but this one holds everything super well. We have a video on how to pack these toiletries as well as the entire list that's available to Pack Hacker Pro members, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. So we got a little hair care stuff going on here, starting with this trimmer. I have a beard, I think this thing works really well. It feels the most like an actual trimmer, and it also charges with USB-C. One of our Pack Hacker Pro members, Ben Z, noticed that there's no power delivery here, so this is where the InCharge XS comes in because it'll actually charge this thing. Regular USB-C cable does not work. But the charge on this thing lasts a long time, so you really don't have to charge it that often, and you'll only run into this if you're gone for months and months at a time. Next up, we have the Chicago comb. You're not gonna find a smaller comb and more durable comb, and if you do, please comment it below and you're hired. But I've been using this thing for years, and it just is really, really nice to have on the road. I think it's just the perfect sized comb. Really got deep into this one, but great company, very lightweight, very durable combs. Next up, we have this little mule travel razor. This is the travel razor that I use to shave with. I think one of the biggest benefits is that it's a standard Gillette head that you can get a replacement for anywhere in the world, and it's nice and small and packable. I have a Go tub here filled up with hair pomade. I love just opening it with one hand. It's really slick. For deodorant, I have a crystal mineral stick. Not only is it super packable, but it lasts forever too. It took me a little while to get used to this and for it to actually start working, and there is a technique to use the exact right amount of water when you're applying it to yourself. Once you get it down, it is a great space saver compared to regular deodorant. I'm not really a 5-step skincare routine guy, so I just have some face lotion with SPF inside of this Go tub. This is 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. So it's the max size that you can carry on a plane. without needing to check it. When traveling to other countries, they don't always have a washcloth, which is a must for me to use. So in those instances when I don't have them available and I don't want to just get a giant hand towel wet, I use this scrubber from Toiletries. It packs really small, it's silicone, so it dries almost instantly, and it gives me some nice, satisfying scrub. This soap bar case from Matador holds Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, which is a great versatile soap that can be used as like shampoo or for your body or dishes. Castile soap's pretty much multi-use. And one of the things I like about this case is it actually lets the soap inside dry. It doesn't get super grimy, but it also doesn't get wet on the outside. I don't know how the technology works. I talked with them about it. Apparently it's pretty heavily patented, and you're really not gonna find a smaller, more packable soap bar case than this one. Also from Matador, the ultralight travel towel. I don't use this thing often, but if I'm ever going to like a public beach and I don't have a towel, this thing works really well. Or if I just wanna go jump into like a random body of water, it is really nice to have this, and then I just hang it on the outside of my bag to dry, and it's microfiber, it dries super quick. So in the instance that I need it, it's nice to have, and it is very small and packable. After years of trying different toothbrushes, the Quip is still a very good contender. It's packable, and it is short. It fits in that DOP kit perfectly, and it's electric. It's more like kind of like a whisper, like a hint of a vibration, but I think it's better than nothing. And there are other similar typed toothbrushes from competitors that are just a little bit longer and don't fit quite as cleanly into DOP kits, so Quip continues to win. Two more Matador items on this list. The first is a reusable toothpaste tube, which I like for two reasons. One, I'm not throwing away a bunch of those little travel tubes. And then two, it lets you bring a little tube with you away from your home base. So maybe at your home base, you've got a really big tube and you just want to keep refilling this thing as you're going on little day or week trips or things like that. And then we have the waterproof travel canister from them as well. This is good for just holding pills, anything that you want to travel with. Two smaller accessories. These are the Kenku mini tweezers, which are just the smallest pair of tweezers that I've used. They're not perfect, but I really don't use tweezers that often, maybe for pulling out like a sliver or like a random hair here or there. So it's just nice to have that option when I need it, even though I don't use them often. They're super small and packable. And then these nail clippers from Victorinox. This is the newest iteration, and I find it a little bit more simple to even use than the older ones. You just flip this side around, and then you're in clip-in mode, and just fold it back, and it's very, very packable. There's also like a little keychain here, so if you want to throw it on your keys, you could definitely do that. If you're an avid nail clipper, you'll always have them with you. Chapstick, gotta have it. Even better if there's a little SPF in it. And then always, just in case, I keep a quart-sized Ziploc bag just wrapped up like this. In case they ask me to throw some of the liquidy stuff like from the Go tube in here, I can just do that real quick, but hardly ever use this otherwise. Miscellaneous items are essential even for minimalist packers. However, that doesn't mean you need to sacrifice a bunch of valuable space. These essentials are ultra packable and make day-to-day travel a little bit easier. Let's start off with this water bottle. Well, it's more of a water bag. I've been carrying this Vapeur Eclipse for about 10 years in various colors and styles. The thing I like about it is when you're not using it, it packs up super small, and when you are, it's just a regular water bottle. It's almost about a liter in here. I really like these earplugs because I can still kind of hear what's going on, but it blocks out all of the big noises and stuff like that. So if I'm at like a concert, I can still enjoy it and hear it relatively well without it being completely blocked. These came in the most handy for me when I was trying to sleep in a hotel room in Medellin, and I swear there was like a 24/7 salsa party going on downstairs. So earplugs are definitely a must if you're gonna be traveling long term. Next up is more of a nice to have. Sure, your phone has a flashlight, but sometimes a separate flashlight can be nice, especially if you wanna just place this somewhere for a constant stream of light. This thing will last for about up to 45 minutes at a good amount of light, and it's USB-C chargeable, just like everything else on this list, so it fits nicely into the ecosystem. Next up, keys, and there's actually quite a lot going on here. This is the Orbit Key Organizer Pro. The thing I like about the Pro version compared to the old is that this thing stays very screwed down. There's like a nice locking and ratcheting mechanism in here that I think is a big improvement on the prior. There's also this little quick key thing that you can flip to bring out your primary key. And then I've got a small multi-tool on here as well from Orbit Key. And this is like a pry bar. It's gonna let you scrape things. And it is a small flathead screwdriver as well. Taking this thing on a ton of flights, it's never been taken away from me where other multi-tools have, even ones that have claimed to be TSA safe. So RIP to my multi-tools that are just confiscated by TSA, RIP. And then I have these little carabiners from Night Eyes on here as well. This microlink carabiner from Night Eyes is great for accommodations that have you use a fob like this or an actual key, whether it's an Airbnb or a hotel. You can just quickly throw those on the keychain and just have one set of keys with the Orbit key. Next up for carabiners, both pretty similar, but I like both. First of all, we have the locking S-biner. I think the locking here is critical because I like to have something locked down. I don't like it to be able to flip out of the carabiner at all. This thing does a great job at that. I usually have this on my sling. Maybe I'll put a hat on it. Maybe I'll use it on my bag to hang up that Matador towel when it gets wet. It's really versatile and nice to have. Next up, we have the Hero Clip. There are larger sizes that a lot of people use for their backpacks, but I'm not often hanging my backpack up. This is more for a sling. Like when I'm out at like a restaurant or a bar that has a small table, I can just, put this on the table and then hang my sling down. And I really like that. Instead of putting it on the back of my chair, I kind of keep it next to me, like in front of me. And I feel like it's more secure too, so I can keep an eye on it. These cards are super tiny, and in addition to just being a regular deck of cards, they have a lot of other games included too. This is a great way to pass the time on a train, or if you meet some new friends and you want to game with them, it's just a nice option to have. Depending on the country I'm in, I like to have a mask on me if that's kind of what the culture goes for. It's nice to have it as an option. And this Aeronum mask with these replaceable filters on the inside are really good, especially for my face, which tends to be a little bit larger and my nose is a little bit bigger. So this mask fits super well on me and it is comfortable to wear for hours at a time. And then a first aid kit. Basically, I put everything that I find in a traditional first aid kit inside of here. It's just more packable and easier to manage. And it's just, I very rarely use it. It's mostly filled with Band-Aids, but it's nice to have when needed. So that's the latest version of our Digital Nomad Packing List. You're now ready to travel the world in style. Pack Hacker Pro members get access to a video showing how we pack these items up step by step. Learn more about Pro with the link down in the description below and get access to exclusive giveaways and deals too. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.